You know what happens when you start sharing your goals too early? You dilute them, you weaken them. Not because people are evil, most aren't, but because once your dreams are out there, they become open to interpretation, to judgment, to resistance, and suddenly they're not just yours anymore. You post about a new project you're excited about, and someone immediately says, "That's been done before." Or worse, nothing, no response, just silence, and your brain goes, asterisk, was that stupid? Should I not have said anything? Asterisk, and right there, that seed of doubt gets planted. Not because the goal wasn't good, but because you let too many people into a room that was only meant for you. You don't need the world's input when your idea is still a baby. You need focus. You need discipline. You need space to let it breathe. Think about it. If you were growing a plant, you wouldn't yank it out of the soil every 2 hours to show it off, right? You'd let it root, let it take hold, let it find strength. Then, asterisk, maybe asterisk, then you let others see what you've been growing. But people don't do that anymore. We treat our goals like their content. Like the minute we think of something meaningful, we owe it to everyone to announce it. I'm starting a business. I'm writing a book. I'm getting healthy. Great, now everyone knows. And now everyone's watching, not because they care, but because they're curious, because they're bored, because it's easier to scroll your progress than fix their own life. And you just gave them a front row seat. That pressure, that spotlight you just turned on yourself, it doesn't help, it hurts. It turns what should have been your passion into a performance. And the second you stumble, you're no longer allowed to fail in private. You're explaining yourself. You're backtracking. You're wondering if you should have just kept it quiet. Asterisk yes. Asterisk you should have. When you share your goal too soon, what you're really doing is asking for permission. You may not realize it, but deep down, you're hoping someone says, "That's amazing." So you feel like it's okay to go for it, but here's the raw truth. If you need people to believe in your dream for you to start, you'll never start. Because belief doesn't come from validation. It comes from asterisk work asterisk, from showing up day after day, even when nobody sees you. And that's the magic. The work you do in silence is the most powerful work you'll ever do. The goals you guard. They stay sacred because when nobody's watching, you're not performing, you're learning, you're failing without judgment. You're adjusting without explanation, and slowly you're building something real, something that doesn't just look good in a post, but actually asterisk works asterisk in the real world. Your goals need protection, not promotion, not applause. Protection, because they're fragile at first. They're insecure, just like a part of you. And when you give too many people access to that version of yourself, they can break it. Not with cruelty, with casualness, with an offhand comment, with indifference, with a look that says, you're gonna do that. And now you're doubting again. You're thinking maybe you should wait, maybe you should shrink. No. What you should have done is asterisk, not shared it at all asterisk. People love to say, speak it into existence. Sure, but speak it into asterisk yourself asterisk first. Speak it through your actions, through your consistency, through your quiet dedication. You don't need a microphone, you need a plan. You don't need an audience, you need endurance. You need to be more obsessed with building the life you want than showing the world how badly you want it. Because here's what's beautiful. When you do that, when you keep your goals close and your work intentional, the results speak for themselves. One day you walk in the room and you don't need to say a word. They can asterisk feel asterisk it. The confidence, the clarity, the quiet fire of someone who didn't chase applause, but chased mastery, and the best part. You're not burned out from performing, you're not bitter from judgment, you're not tangled in opinions. You're asterisk-free, asterisk because nobody touched your dream but you. Stop telling people what you're about to do. Just do it, then let them wonder how you did it without them even knowing. That's how you move, that's how you protect your power. Let me tell you something most people don't realize until it's too late. Privacy is power. The less people know, the less they can interfere. The less they assume, the less they question. The less they hear from you, the more focused you stay on what actually matters. You don't need to announce your every thought, your every step, your every emotion. In fact, doing so is weakening you. It's like opening your front door every morning and shouting your plans to the neighborhood. Who does that? Why would you hand out access to your personal life like flyers no one asked for? We've been trained to believe that being open, being loud, being constantly expressive makes us more real, more authentic. But it doesn't. All it does is hand over your control, your mental energy, your boundaries, your direction to people who have no business influencing it. And here's the part that stings. Some of them don't even care. Some are just watching, not supporting. They're not cheering, they're just curious. And when things go south, they're not the ones who will help you get back up. They'll just scroll to the next story, the next mess, the next bit of drama. When you keep your private life to yourself, you keep your power. You stay grounded, you stay clean, you stay focused. Think about how much energy you waste just managing people's perceptions of you. How much time you spend making sure your post lands the right way. Your story looks polished. Your words don't offend. All that effort could be spent on actually doing the thing, living it, becoming it. But instead, you're curating a version of your life for public consumption, and somewhere along the line, you've convinced yourself it's required. It's not. There's this false idea that if you're not sharing, you're hiding. But you're not hiding, you're protecting. There's a difference. You're creating space for your own clarity. You're drawing a line between what's sacred and what's social. Not everything belongs on the feed. Not every thought needs a caption. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing . Not out of secrecy, but out of strength. Because when people don't know what you're thinking, they can't interrupt it. When they don't know what you're planning, they can't project their fear onto it. When they don't know who you're with, what you're going through, what decision you're wrestling with, you're free to go through it without their noise. And in that silence, something beautiful happens. You hear yourself again. You remember what you want. You remember who you are when no one's watching. And you begin to trust your own voice more than the voices around you. Privacy isn't about being cold. It's not about shutting people out or pretending you don't feel. It's about control. It's about being the gatekeeper of your life instead of turning it into an open house. Not everyone deserves access. Not everyone has earned the right to see you raw, to hear your doubts, to sit in the waiting room of your life while you figure things out. We forget this. We start to believe that if we're not posting it, it didn't happen. If no one knows about the argument, the heartbreak, the win, the struggle, then it doesn't count. But it does. In fact, it counts more. Because you went through it without needing a witness. You did the work, felt the pain, solved the problem without needing to narrate it to the world. That's not just discipline, that's power. Look at the people who seem truly centered, truly grounded, truly in control of their lives. They're not the loudest. They're not posting every meal, every mood, every move. They're building in silence, living in peace. And when they speak, it lands, because they're not constantly explaining or defending or performing. They're just being . And the truth is, The less people know about you, the more they make up. That used to scare me. Now, I use it. Let them guess, let them wonder, let them fill in the blanks, because while they're busy trying to figure out what you're doing, you're actually doing it. And there's power in that. Real power. Privacy allows you to move without pressure, to evolve without eyes watching, to fail and recover without commentary. That's where the real transformation happens, not on the stage, but in the quiet corners of your life, where only you can see what's changing. So the next time you feel that urge to share just for the sake of being seen, pause. Ask yourself, does this add power to my life, or am I just giving it away? You don't owe anyone your process, you owe yourself progress. Let them wonder. You've got to stop. Stop telling the world every move you make. Stop narrating your personal life like it's a reality show. Because here's the truth, nobody deserves front row seats to your process. We live in a time where people think vulnerability equals value, that transparency means trust, that if you're not constantly updating the world, you're hiding something. Let me tell you something real. You don't owe anybody an explanation for your private life. Your relationships, your healing, your dreams, these things don't grow under a spotlight. They grow in silence. They grow in your grind. They grow when you stop talking and start building. Every time you share a personal detail, you're opening the door for feedback, opinions, and energy you didn't ask for. And when you're constantly looking outwards, waiting for people to clap for your progress, you are giving them the power to define your worth. Why? Why are you letting strangers vote on your life? That dopamine hit from likes and comments, that doesn't mean you're doing better. It just means you're performing. You're distracting yourself from the work that actually matters, the uncomfortable, messy, real, private work that builds true confidence. People say, but Mel, isn't it good to be open? Listen, being open and being exposed are two different things. Openness is intentional. Exposure is impulsive. And what most people are doing on social media, that's exposure. You want to win, then move in silence. Let your results do the talking. Let people wonder how you did it. Make them think you disappeared, and then come back so evolved they don't recognize you anymore. Your peace is priceless, and the more of your personal life you hand out like free samples, the less of that peace you'll have left. So stop narrating, stop performing, stop leaking the life you're working so hard to build. You don't need the world to understand it. You just need you to believe in it.